And now to continue the series of my late wife's 4 DUIs, the third DUI was definitely the most heartbreaking because it really betrayed every trust that we really had left. And after this, there really wasn't any anyways. But if you've heard the story, my wife drove through the front of our house at one point, and she actually smashed up her car, and I had my Mercedes was parked in the car, so both cars were in the shop. And as a result, I had to get a rental car. So I came home one night, and unfortunately I left the keys on the counter, and she happened to steal the car. And she said she was going to get something real quick at the store, and unfortunately never saw her again until the following day. And actually, this was a real tragedy because what happened was she ended up going across the street to a local CVS store, bought 2 bottles of wine, and proceeded to drink them in the car. She ended up finishing off an entire bottle and half another one, and these are 1.75 liter bottles of wine. Unfortunately, she tried to back up. She almost hit some people. They called the police, and I had no idea any of this was going on. Initially, I realized that she was gone right around 7:30 or so. As I came downstairs, she was gone and the car was gone. I was absolutely in shock because both our cars were in the shop, and now she had taken the rental car, and I didn't know where she was. Again, hours passed. I had nobody to call. She wasn't answering her phone. A lot of people don't understand this. When you go around and around and around, it's just a horrible, terrifying place to be for a spouse or for a family member. By 12 o'clock, I had pretty much given up. I was just about ready to go to bed, and then I heard sirens in the distance, and I had just a sneaking suspicion. We lived in a neighborhood, and there was like a CVS on the corner, which is probably half a mile away. So at that time, I ran around the neighborhood, went over to the CVS, crossed a major road, and as I entered the parking lot, to make a long story short, my rental car was already on the back of a tow truck, ready to be hauled away, and I ran up to the tow truck driver, and let's continue this. Unfortunately, the tow truck driver said he had to take the car. The person who was driving it had already been arrested for a DUI. There was a police officer just kind of finishing his report. And then there were some people standing around, and they basically were telling us that, yes, that this person driving the car, which was my rental car, obviously my wife, had backed up. She was swerving all over the parking lot of the CVS, almost hit a couple people, and they actually called the police. The police came, and obviously she was inebriated because she'd been sitting there for several hours drinking wine. Unbelievable. It was an unbelievable stress on myself. And and obviously Amanda, but it was just past the point of really irrationality to steal the only car we had left just to go run and to get alcohol. And unfortunately, the next day, I wasn't even willing to pick her up at the jail. She called me at the jail, and I said, "Well, you're going to have to find your own way home. I don't have any way to pick you up, so it's not my problem. You figure your own way from jail." She says, "Well, I'm really hungover." I'm like, "Well, maybe you shouldn't have stole the car, smashed the car, got a DUI, and got drunk. How about that?" And you have to realize, the first and foremost, I tell these stories because these were years ago, and people think I'm being disparaging. I'm kind of tired of explaining this, but these are designed to help other families in this situation, and alcoholics specifically, to understand the destruction of their behavior and maybe to realize that they might not want to go down that path. That's what these videos are ultimately designed for. Also, the following day, I ended up getting an Uber, and I went to the lot where the vehicle was impounded, and I wanted to find out what was going on with it. I had to call the rental company. The rental company ended up just saying, "We're going to get it." And I went to the car, and again, there was a big bottle of red wine, half full, dripping all over the front of the car. This is a brand new car. I think this car had less than 300 miles on it, and she had put a big dent in it. Again, she had ran into one of the grocery shopping sections, smashed it up. Brand new car. Rental car company wanted to sue me over it. I go, it wasn't me driving. My car was stolen. I mean, I literally could have, I could have probably put my wife, looking back, I probably could have, put her in for stolen vehicle. In some ways, I probably should have. It might have helped the situation. Unfortunately, this was also our 21st wedding anniversary at the time, and I realized this. So this would have been 2018. Crazy times, and again, I tell these stories to help other families to realize that you're not alone, and lots of people go through this horrible type of situation. And again, I go live Monday through Friday, generally right around 6 o'clock Pacific time, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Also, we have the Facebook group, which is, link is in my bio. It's called There's an Alcoholic in the Family. You don't have to go to Facebook, just go to the link in my bio. Also, when you're ready to work with me one-on-one, I have a complete coaching program designed to help families and the alcoholic. I've helped thousands of alcoholics and their families. Set up a breakthrough call. It's a Zoom call. It takes about 45 minutes to an hour. We do a deep dive into what's going on with you and your family. And we set up a roadmap to really change your life and the life of your family. And again, thanks so much for listening.